social media and on YouTube. Take care of yourself, okay?
Thank you, Sophia. Bye, everyone.
All right, so I actually lied. Belle was not our last speaker. She was certainly incredible, but we do have one final speaker for today, Miss Rashida Mckenzie. Rashida, welcome. I've been looking forward to this all day. Before I allow Rashida to speak, I want to start by introducing her. Rashida is an author and a coach who works with highly ambitious women to achieve their definition of personal and professional success without sacrificing their sanity and serenity or themselves. Having worked with women on every level of leadership for the past 15 years, from a stint at the White House, okay, to owning the DC area's first concierge service for executive and entrepreneurial moms, Rashida brings a unique blend of personal experience and professional insight on what gets in the way of women who deeply desire to go for it. Rashida, I think like all of us watching right now, I actually think all women need to hear about what you have to say. I'm going to hop off real quick and let you share what you have in mind. Thank you. Uh-oh, Rashida, I am not able to hear you. Is your microphone? Check your mic for me. I know you're unmuted, but I can't hear you for some reason. Technology. It's been doing so well so far. I cannot hear you. I can read your lips, but I cannot hear you. Why not try logging off and logging back on? And or like exiting out of the tab. We can try that. Right. All right. So while we're waiting for Rashida to come back on and test out her mic, I want to ask you all if what so far in the past hour has been your favorite topic that we've had speakers elaborate on today. Rashida? Still nothing. I'm not hearing anything. Oh no, Rashida, I was looking forward to this. Do you want to try it on your phone, maybe? I cannot hear you. So, Rashida, my advice is actually that you try this on your phone. I know the phone's audio is sometimes a little pick up quicker, and maybe restarting your computer. And once it restarts, we can try with the computer because we've got about 15 minutes left in your segment, and I want to make sure people hear from you. So try using the link on your phone. It'll let you log in the regular way, and we'll be able to proceed from there. Okay. I cannot hear you at all. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I can see your mouth moving, but I do not hear you. Wait a minute. Oh, well, that's not you. Mm-mm.
Do we get it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right.
All right, Rashida. All right, so take the floor and tell us what you have for today.
Sounds good. Thank you. I always say, it's going to be powerful when those little interruptions try to get in the way and get in the way of your group, but it's not going to happen today. Not today. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. By show of hands in the chat or drop a one in the chat, I want to know Who has seen the movie called The Wiz? If you haven't seen The Wiz, you've probably seen another version called The Wizard of Oz. So drop a one in the chat if you're familiar with this story, because I need to know if you are with me. But for those of you who have not seen it, maybe you've been under a rock somewhere, or you just have not had the privilege to see one of my all-time favorite movies, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown really quick. So The Wiz is the modern version of The Wizard of Oz, right? And it follows the story of a young woman named Dorothy who swept from her home in Harlem, New York, and she ends up in this magical and mystical place called Oz. And along the way, she meets this crew of friends, right? The Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion. And each of them are searching for what it is that they feel like is missing. The Scarecrow wants a brain. The Tin Man is looking for a heart. And the Cowardly Lion is just like, I just need more courage. And then there's Dorothy. Dorothy is just trying to figure out a way to get back home. So if you're familiar with the story, then you know that they're told that all they have to do is follow the yellow brick road. And that will fulfill their promise of getting everything that they want and desire. But you know what happens? They follow that path to a T, and then they get to the end of the yellow brick road only to realize that the wizard who they thought would solve all their problems was actually just a simple mere man pretending to be more powerful than he actually was. And so they find themselves stuck and second guessing themselves. Now, the reason why I asked you if you had seen The Wiz versus The Wizard of Oz, because this is where they are different. The reason why I love the version of The Wiz is because it's in that moment where they feel like they're stuck, where they feel like their desires will not come to fruition, when they feel like there's no way forward because they've run out of path, when they realize that they followed the rules, they eased on down the right road, and even when they got there, what they thought was there wasn't actually there. It is Dorothy that realizes in that moment that they already have everything that they need. And so she starts to clearly convince her friends why they already have the courage, they already have the heart, they already have what they've been looking for this entire journey. And then you know what happens next? This brave, brilliant, beautiful woman who was clearly able to see the potential in everyone else turns around and asks for permission for herself. Permission to go home because she couldn't see that she already had everything that she needed to succeed. But she could see it in everybody else around her. She got stuck between what she believed about herself and her surroundings. So in the story of your life, I want to ask you today, how many of you are playing the role of Dorothy? Making sure that everybody else has exactly what it is that they need. Your friends, your family, your clients, your customers. Making sure that they stay encouraged, making sure that they know that they're amazing, making sure that they're not second guessing themselves. But when it comes to you, there's still a little bit of doubt there. And you struggle to ask for support, or you might find yourself sabotaging, right? Showing up some days, but not really showing up others because you're still unsure. So outwardly facing, though, nobody knows. You are the pillar for everyone else, but then you turn around and ask for permission to profit, to move forward, and to walk in your purpose. And you know why? You know why this happens is because we don't know. When you find this happening, when you see that pattern reoccurring, and what happened to Dorothy is that she didn't know what her secret sauce is. She did not know what made her unduplicatable. And each and every one of you all are unduplicatable. Now, I know some of you are saying, like, what is this word? I've never heard this word before. So you're asking, what is unduplicatable? What does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. It means that you possess a one-of-a-kind quality or attribute that is unique to you alone. Now, I know that you've heard this before, but let me ask you, do you think that that's something that is just cute to say, or do you actually believe it? Are you operating in that way when you show up as a leader, when you show up as a business owner? Are you operating in a way that says, I'm unduplicatable? Because it means that you know that there is only one you. You are irreplaceable. There will not be another mother to your children. There will not be another spouse to your husband. There will not be another you that can show up and take your place. But your business should be duplicatable. Your leadership, people should know how to follow you. That should be duplicatable, but you are not. You are unduplicatable. And if you're building that way, it means that you build from a place where you implement systems and put support in place so that you can have the tools and the skills to step out if you needed to, so that you can take care of yourself in a way where things don't necessarily have to stop, because you know what that sauce is. And when you know what that sauce is, you can share it. You can share it so that you can build something that's sustainable. So here's what I believe. I believe that you do not have a business problem where you need more planning. You do not have a brand problem where you're trying to figure out, oh, what do I want to put out there? Or I just need more confidence because I'm not sure that people will get it. You know exactly what you've been put here to do. So that's not the problem. You don't have a business problem. You have a belief problem. And the reason why all of us struggle with belief problems is because we have not uninstalled our current programming or software. And so if you do not take the time to intentionally step back and uncover what that secret sauce is and get very clear on why you're here, then that's when we tend to go back and forth. And you know what we start to do? We start to question, like, okay, I know that God gave this to me, but I don't know if it's going to happen. We start showing up with that type of audacity, questioning what we clearly know has already been given to us. So I want you to know that it is going to come to fruition when you understand what makes you unduplicatable, because we need you and the world needs you to move full steam ahead and get out of this starting and stopping. Okay, we're done with that today. So that is why you can have all the strategy, all the support, all of those tools, and still stay silent and still sit on your gifts and still only show up when it's convenient, because you're not sure what gives you or what that secret sauce is. So today I'm going to give you 3 quickly steps to get clear on your secret sauce, aka what makes you unduplicatable. Now there are actually 7 steps, but I don't have time to give you all 7. So if you want the other ones that you're not going to get today, I'm going to give you a number. I want you to text secret sauce, all one word, to 41372. Secret sauce to 41372, and you'll get the rest of those. Okay, so let's jump right in. Number 1 to getting clear on your secret sauce is do not compare your journey. Stop looking at what everybody else is doing and ask yourself, what do I desire? That's a question that even that has to come from internal. Nobody really asks you that. Have you noticed that? Like, nobody, you get up in the morning, you go get your coffee. Nobody says, like, hey, what do you desire today? It's not a question that's going to come externally. And so you have to start asking that on a daily basis internally. The yellow brick road in this story and in this instance is significant because it represents what I call the prescribed path, right? Similarly, in our lives, from the time we are little girls, we are presented with this prescribed path, right? You go to school, get a good job, go to college, graduate, and have children. So all of those mixed up, but in that bowl, right? And we just go with it. We just go with it. And I know, and I'm so excited about where we are at now, because I feel like so many of us are having this awakening, but we have to make sure that our awakening allows us to take action, and then we're moving in alignment on those things. Because it's not about just easing down the right road and then us being able to have everything. You're going to have to create it. There's no more following a yellow brick road. You're going to have to build your own, boo boo. We're going to have to build our own yellow brick roads so that we ultimately understand what we are fully capable of. So you may know how to survive. You may know how to sacrifice, but do you know how to operate in your secret sauce in alignment with your authentic self? That means you don't have to put parts of yourself away to show up. You don't have to code switch. You don't have to acquiesce when you get into spaces. You can show up fully as you. And when we ask ourselves what it is that we desire, we can change and challenge these expectations. But first, we have to create core values, which is step number 2, and defend them ferociously. So it's not just about what you say you want, it's are you showing up in that way that matches what you said? Because what you say, what you believe about yourself, ultimately is what becomes the blueprint for your life. And a lot of times we're looking for the blueprint when it comes back to us. And we have to take a second to dismantle those things, because most of what we've gotten is from parents, culture, society, school. And so it's up to us to really dial those back and look at what it is that we want to change. And so for too many people, core values live on our website. We might put them in a handbook, but they don't influence our full day-to-day actions. We're not standing on business, as the kids say. So you have to know what those core values are and be willing to defend them. Chick-fil-A is not open on Sunday. They don't care what y'all say or how much money they feel like they may be missing. They built something sustainable because they are standing on what it is they believe in. And so it reminds me, growing up, I played basketball. I was up through college. I was a defensive specialist, right? And so one of the quick tips that I've learned is that when you are going after something, when you have an opponent or an obstacle in front of you and you're trying to get someplace, you have to be able to watch that person's waist, right? The ball may go here. There might be a lot of distractions happening, but if you stay locked in on the person in front of you and watch their waist, then they're not going to get by you. They might go to the right and you will be right there with them. They might go to the left, you'll be right there with them, because you are defending what it is that you want. And that's the same thing that has to happen with core values. When you are clear on your core, nothing can stop what's coming for what it is that you want. Number 3, you have to be willing to practice self-compassion. In this journey, when you decide to play bigger, when you decide to go deeper, when you decide to get clear on what it is you want, you better believe that there are some voices that are going to come up and say, like, girl, are you sure? Is this actually what you want? Do you think you can do this? Do you have enough credentials for this? All of these things are going to pop up. But I want you to remember that this journey that you're taking and building your next and getting to your next level is not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to be a straight line. So I want you to treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would with a friend, right? I want you to give yourself grace, because it's not those setbacks that are going to stop you. It's how we respond to them. At the end of the story, Dorothy It gets to the end of the yellow brick road and there's a guide there. And she tells her, she says, Dorothy, just like you were able to recognize what everybody else needed, you can do the same for yourself. And that's what I came to do today, to remind you that whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, that you always have had the ability to go back to your core and go back home. And trust me when I say through lived experience that there is no place like home. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm Rashida Mckenzie.
Rashida, thank you. I feel like I'm so much closer to discovering my secret sauce.